This is the setup video for the breakout activity entitled The Jealous Skittle. This video is intended to help the teachers and other facilitators in the room understand this breakout activity overall and their role in it, as well as become a little more familiar with what breakout activities are and how they work. If you haven't done a breakout EDU activity before, it's kind of like an escape room situation. Students have a limited amount of time to open all of the locks and break out. Breakout activities focus on the 4 C's of critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication. These activities are not presented with many instructions for a reason. The students need to use critical thinking skills to solve the puzzles and figure out what lock their answer may open. In activities with younger students, it is recommended that each group have a facilitator or taskmaster. The most difficult job of the facilitator is to foster the 4 C's without giving answers or even how to get answers. It is so difficult as teachers to let kids struggle when you know you could help them get the answer very quickly. However, the excitement you will see in the students when they do figure out a puzzle on their own is priceless. I will go in a little more detail on this when we actually look at the puzzles themselves. This activity is based around the story of the jealous Skittle. The Skittle is jealous of M&Ms because M&Ms have a chocolatey center, and the jealous Skittle wishes he did too. The jealous Skittle has locked all of the M&Ms up in the box, and the student's task is to open the box to set the M&Ms free. Let's take a look at what this activity will use. We will be using the large lockbox, the smaller lockbox, which will be locked with the hasp, the 3-digit lock, the 4-digit lock, the multicolor lock. We will also be using the key lock and an answer sheet. First, the group of students will be given an answer sheet. This answer sheet helps them keep things organized, as well as helps them figure out when they get an answer. If my answer is a 3-digit number, then what could that go to? It must go to the 3-digit lock. The other thing that the answer sheet helps us with is that the facilitator or teacher, the person who's with each group, will hold on to the boxes and not allow the students to play with them, because what happens a lot of times is at least one student will just kind of get fixated on playing with the locks and trying to get them without doing the work, and then that student isn't engaged in the activity. So what we tell the students is, after you have your answer sheet completed, even if the answers are wrong, it's okay, but you have to have an answer down for each of the locks before you can try to open the locks. The students will also receive the first puzzle. This puzzle will open the key lock. The key lock is what is locking the large breakout box, and inside of that box will be the other 3 puzzles and the small box that's locked up with the hasp and 3 other locks. So the end-all goal is actually to open the small box. This puzzle, as you can see, I gave them the first one. So they just have to do these math problems. And then the bottom box, each number coincides with a letter, which is down here. We hope that we don't have to give them hardly any help with this. The hope is that they figure out to do that from the example. If they have questions on what to do with it, I would try to just lead them to that first example and say, okay, so if 5 plus 2 is 7, and then where'd they get the A from? Well, let's look down here. 7 is an A. So then hopefully they can figure out the rest of that. When they finish this puzzle, the answer will be revealed. Ask teacher for key. Each facilitator at that table will have the key for that lock. So when they can show you that they came up with this answer, ask teacher for key, then you can give them the key and they will be able to unlock the large box. Again, when they open the key lock, which is locking the large box, they will receive the small lock box that will be locked with these 3 locks, okay, and the hasp. And they will also get the other 3 puzzles, which can be done in any order. The first puzzle is the M&M and Skittle cake. The students just have to answer the questions by counting the M&Ms or Skittles. Okay, and then the last one, if you ate all of the M&Ms and all of the green Skittles, how many candies would be left? That's going to obviously be the most difficult one, but they can write on any of these materials as well, so they could even cross them out. When they've answered the 3 questions, they'll have 3 answers, which can go on their answer sheet, and they'll hopefully figure out that that would open the 3-digit lock. Okay, but they're not going to open the 3-digit lock, they're just going to write it down on their answer sheet. The next puzzle is just what color is greater than the other. Okay, so which color has more? And for this, they're just going to write in the color in these boxes, and this will unlock the color lock. Again, they're not going to do it yet. They're just going to write down their answer on the answer sheet. And again, as little instruction as possible. The final puzzle, fill in the boxes, is probably something different than they've seen before, so it may be a little more difficult, although the math in it is very simple. The hope is that they fill in all of the empty boxes, even though in some of them, like the letter A, for example, they really only need to do 1 + 3 = 4, and they have the answer. But the hope is that they do the whole puzzle. We're hoping that they figure out that this box is much more bold than the other boxes. The idea is that the students will come up with the idea that, okay, well, this one must mean something. And at the bottom, you can see that they're even color coordinated to which box that goes for. When they write in the correct numbers, that will be the 4-digit lock. As soon as the students have worked together to come up with answers that they put in their answer sheet, then we can let them try the locks. Most likely for this activity, they shouldn't have many wrong answers, but if they do, and if the lock doesn't open, then instead of, a lot of times kids will want to just try a different combination. Well, if they don't get it on their first try or two, then it's important that we tell them, let's go back to our puzzle and look at what we might have done wrong. Maybe our combination is wrong. Once they have opened all their locks, they will unlock the small box, which will have a sign in it that says "We broke out," and it will also have a little packet of M&Ms for each of them. So they've released the M&Ms, and then they can eat them. I hope you found this video helpful, and if there's anything that isn't clear, we can definitely chat before we start the activity.